This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out of Me.
Welcome, everyone. We're back. They Mostly Come Out at Night. This is Will, and...
This is Alex.
Yep. You know the drill already by now. Go to all your web zones, your YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you like to listen. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe if you like what you hear. Share it with some friends. Do your thing.
Throw us a recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that too. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all you listening. I don't think we have much crazy business. We got to talk Tim Ritter.
We are I love this movie.
I actually unironically do too. It is actually incredible. I didn't put it on Instagram. That's my bad. But we watched Killing Spree tonight. You'll see it. I'll post it after we put the review up and everything.
Tim Ritter,
Wow.
last in 86, made a film called Truth or Dare, where a man got cheated on and goes on a murder rampage.
Went insane.
And
There's that famous scene with him in the woods with the prostitute.
yes, that made no sense, but it's fine.
And the weird...
drive-by chainsawing.
Yes. Oh my God. Beautiful.
And it was a very entertaining movie. Very
Yeah.
stupid, very entertaining. Now, a year later, he has a film called Killing Spree about a man who thinks his wife is cheating on him, and he goes on a killing spree.
Listen, someone really hurt Tim Ritter. Like his wife or a lover. Someone hurt Tim Ritter very deeply that he decided to make a bunch of movies about like cheating and people getting lovers scorned.
Yes. This is Truth or Dare, but
Like
Truth or Dare is the rough draft. This is the final dissertation piece. Okay?
Here's how I think it happened. Tim Ritter was writing Truth or Dare.
And then he made it.
And he made it, and he was like, you know what? It's just... I want something with a little more edge, a little more just oomph to it. So he
He had to pay those bills.
He snorted a gigantic pile of cocaine, took his script for Truth or Dare.
Did he snort it with Donald Farmer?
Yes, because he thanked Donald Farmer. Maybe Donald Farmer introduced him to cocaine or he supplied it.
Possibly. Anything's possible.
So he took his script.
Anything's
for Truth,
possible in Jupiter, Florida.
He took his script for Truth or Dare and was like, I'm going to fucking rewrite this shit.
I'm going to make this epic.
I'm going to fucking... And then he looked at he looked at a Fangoria magazine, and he watched a trauma movie while he was on cocaine and rewrote Truth or Dare. And then he gave us Killing Spree.
He gave us the even more entertaining, more gory, more campy, more fun version of that.
Yeah, because it is just an off the rails version of Truth or Dare.
Well, like more condensed.
Yeah.
And
it's almost 2 hours long.
More to the point.
I love this movie.
It
so
is hour 47 minutes.
Let's just go ramble mode because I want to talk a lot about different things.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go chronologically because I mean it's such a simple premise, right? Mm-hmm. It goes a lot of places, but the premise is. Let me just set this up for you. This is how ridiculous this is. So a man who is a single breadwinner for two people.
He does not want his wife to work.
He doesn't want his wife to work at all. So
because he has trust issues.
But he's not getting paid enough, and they cut his pay
even more. Yeah.
So he's getting stressed out about that, and his wife gets bored at home. I'm not kidding, and starts writing romance
scenarios.
Yeah, romance stories, so that she can publish them into a book and help them get more money. He finds the romance novels and literally thinks that she is enacting all these, and she is just sleeping around with all these men
because
while
they're
he's
all
away at work.
About people who are real.
So the premise is he finds the book, he thinks it's real, he thinks that she's actually doing this, so he snaps because he's so stressed out about bills and work and her cheating and all this stuff. We'll get to that scene. And He's so stressed out that he just snaps and starts going on a killing spree and killing all these men that are presumably sleeping with his wife.
Yes.
And then some crazy shit happens, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So, crazy shit number 1 is this is Asbestos Felt. And my God, you couldn't pick anyone else for this role.
You could not pick a more unhinged looking.
He is an absolute lunatic. And
Well, it's like, you know how
at the beginning of the movie he's supposed to be this normal, Joe Schmo,
Sure.
like Joe Lunchbox
Yeah.
kind of guy, and he does not look normal at all.
he looks normal at no point during this fucking movie.
No.
And it's because, there's people who criticize like The Shining. They say, oh, well, it's Jack Nicholson. He always looks crazy. No, watch this. As soon as he comes on screen, you're just like, that is a crazy man.
You're like, that guy is insane. It looks like they dragged him like straight from a sanitarium.
Yes. Like he was wrapped up in bandages.
Because he has like unkempt, like crazy fucking hair all over the place. His mustache is like
Falling into his mouth.
it's like hanging over both of his lips, and he has this fucking beard that like fans out.
And he wears the same shirt and pants.
yeah, the entire
Except
movie.
for one scene, one absolutely mind-boggling scene where he's vacuuming and he has a pair of extremely, just unspeakably tiny briefs on.
It's his hot girl briefs, okay?
It is, and on the back it says these are the buns, and on the front over his wee it says
this is the beef.
this is the beef, and that's the only one of the only scenes where he's wearing something other than his work clothes.
So, very simple setup here is he'll read a story that she's written, think it's true, and then call that guy, bring him over, and kill him. So my favorite, I guess we'll do, like, this is the only time we'll do chronological because we'll talk about the other ones. I love this, the first setup one, because they're like, he gets home from work, he's all stressed out. He sits down and she's like, well, I'm going to go start making dinner because remember Bill or whatever is coming over. Ben is coming over.
He's like, shit.
Does he have to come over? And she's like, well, you set this up. He's your friend. You invited him over.
And he's like, yeah, but I just can't stand him.
And it's like, they're building it up. This is like his best friend in the world.
Or was.
They're like, they're buddies
Yeah.
and they love each other apparently.
But at some
he's
point they
super annoyed with him. And she's gonna make his favorite pork chops, but our main dude
He hates
pork chops. Hates them.
Yeah, they make a point
Asbestos
of that.
does not like pork chops. So, imagine my surprise. Literally the next scene, it jumps to them at dinner
with an old man.
This guy is like ancient. This guy is like 70 years old, and this is his best friend and best man at their wedding.
He's the best man at the wedding, and he immediately goes in on how he has a girlfriend who just turned 18 a couple weeks ago, and they love fucking.
Even creepier if you think about it, because that means she was not 18 when they started dating.
Yes. Every character in this movie is absolutely fucking bananas.
Oh, they're all like skeezy creeps.
And he's like, yeah, she makes me feel so young.
Actually, to be honest, his wife is the only normal person in this entire movie.
Yeah.
If you think about it, she is the only normal, she is the sole solitary normal person in this entire movie.
She's just, writing her nonsense stories. And
she's bored at home.
And the guy starts he immediately is saying yeah, we have sex all the time. And I love eating her out, all this stuff, and Asbestos is
depraved,
just not having it. And he walks away for I don't remember what. He leaves the room for something, and then comes back and sees the guy and he talking to his wife and is like, okay, get the fuck out.
Yeah, he's like, I fucking don't want you here. I didn't want to invite you anyway.
You are a sick old
fuck.
You're a
sick old fuck. Get the fuck out of my house. Fuck you. It just goes off on this guy.
Because he doesn't trust him.
To be fair, he's a creep. He's like a 70-year-old man dating an 18-year-old. So, I guess that would be a reason to kick someone out. Anyway. But God.
it's like the next day the wife
my God.
leaves to go shopping or something.
And he starts going, like, it's already showing him kind of going insane because he's having a dream about,
oh my God.
because he has a dream about his friend fucking her, like, in their kitchen on the table with the pork chops.
With the
all
pork
over-
chops.
and so
And
he
he's like he has a knife in his hand and he's just standing there shaking it.
and they're making fun of him and saying,
saying nonsense.
I have a feeling this is where the stream of consciousness came out of Tim Ritter.
oh yeah,
and he was
his
like,
nightmares.
he was like, I've had this nightmare before, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna write it into the movie.
I'm gonna put everything
Because they're like saying like he's a failure, how he's not a adequate husband, and all this stuff.
let me show you. He's like, let me show you how to please a woman and all this stuff. And yeah, he has that nightmare. Wakes up, he's in a shit mood.
So he goes to work and he tries to see where the friend is because he wants to like talk to him. He's like, he makes up the story about how he wants to apologize to him.
And the guy, his boss or whatever, he's like, well, he called out again because all he's doing is fucking.
That old man is telling everyone that he's just fucking well, not currently committing statutory rape, but did.
He's just fucking all day.
He's fucking an 18-year-old.
And and then our man's asbestos is at home, and our dude shows up. Details, right? Old man, he drives up to his house. He knocks over the trash can.
Yep, and parks like sideways.
Parks like a fucking idiot. Everyone in this movie parks like a fucking idiot.
They park like one way out.
But he knocks over the trash can. That's just there. No one mentions it. He just does it because fuck you.
Yeah.
And walks in. He just barges in with his girlfriend.
He was like a punker chick.
And they start roasting our dude.
Yeah, she's like, well, you're kind of like not cool, dude, and you're totally like not with it. And
she has an iguana.
And you need to like grow up, bro. And and I have to go to the bathroom.
My favorite is as she's going to the bathroom, she's like, by the way, can you like please try to find a purpose in life? Which is like the most like.
And this isn't a dream sequence.
No,
they just
supposedly
they just start roasting him.
Well, that's the thing. It's like supposedly this happens, and it's like the most cold fucking roast imaginable.
Well, she's holding like an iguana,
and the whole
has
time,
this, like insane haircut,
and the whole time he's just like, "Yep, that's right. I'll find a purpose. Yep, haha, that's funny." And then she goes.
I love how awkward this fucking murder scene is.
Well, she goes to the bathroom,
and
our dude follows her, I guess.
And you see the pink light come on in upstairs. You see his little tiny head. It's like this. They framed the entire staircase.
Well, because they have it's like one of those houses where the living room has like an area where the second floor is like you can peek over.
But I love this because the entire frame is the staircase, right?
Yeah.
And his head is in the center, and it's like
tiny because they're filming from the bottom.
It's tiny, and he's just looking over like the balcony.
And he's just like telling him like
he's
and he's just
telling
him,
I have no purpose.
I got a purpose.
I got a purpose. And you think it's fun to sleep around with my wife? Does she give good head? We forgot to mention that the dream. Well, yeah.
So right before the guy comes over,
finds the diary.
He finds her little black book
of stories, and
reads it.
It's about the friend sleeping with her.
It's like I didn't think I could ever.
He also has a dream about her like having a head that's just lips. And like sucking off his friend
because his friend's
until
like
his head comes. It's the weirdest fucking dream.
Her head is just a giant set of dick sucking lips.
I say that because he's this tiny little head on top of this balcony, and he's like, "So my wife gives good head. Well, you know what?
Your girlfriend also gives good head.
So I cut her head off," and it like shows him like waving her head around, and it's like the fakest head on the planet. So what he does, he just launches it at the friend, and it hits him in the head. And then he proceeds to beat the friend to death with her head.
So there's a little trend here. Almost every murder scene, because it happens in this scene too. Almost every murder scene during the middle of the murder and chaos and blood, it hard cuts.
That is like the funniest part.
Every time they did it, I progressively lost my shit.
Because it hard cuts to like
him washing his hands.
Rock music, him washing his hands, and then awkwardly moving a body to where he's like disposing of it. He'll also take their car, drive it some random place, and just leave it, and then run back to his house on foot.
On foot, like a madman. Oh
so
God.
Let's get into the deaths, because that's the simple setup. That is literally rinse. Well, not like rinse repeat on like how the people die, but rinse repeat
formula
in the setup, and then a hard cut to hard rock music while he puts the body away.
Hard cut to him washing his hands and cleaning up. Oh, it's amazing.
I love the lawnmower's death. I want to talk about that one first. So,
oh my! She was busy that day. Well,
yeah, because that's like when she has 3 in 1.
Jesus Christ!
3 in 1 day. But she's just fantasizing about them. So she's just like basically when it's showing them like hooking up, that's what she's writing.
Yes.
And so this lawnmower guy comes over and with the shortest fucking jean shorts I've ever seen.
I've never, man or woman, I've never seen shorter jean shorts in my life.
And he's like, so
like,
yeah,
bro.
I'm gonna like mow your lawn and stuff.
Sorry, I'm late. I was surfing, bro.
Like, yo, bro, I'm gonna fucking like mow your lawn, yeah. And like keeps looking like down at her because she's wearing like a bathing.
She's
suit.
sunbathing, yeah.
And so he like starts at the mower and he just is staring at her. He like go off camera.
Well, so they have her framed in center of
like
the
her,
camera.
the back of her head. And every time he walks on screen, he's just staring at her while mowing. And then he'll go off screen and then come back the opposite direction, stare at her
and like shake his head and lick his lips.
He does that about 5 times.
And each time it got funnier and funnier.
And then finally she like fantasizes about like hooking up with him in his van.
He like rubs
lotion on her,
which
and gives her a massage. And
they do the most insane fucking shot of the movie where the camera is like outside the house and then it's just fucking like someone Usain Bolts like toward the house.
It was like a Sam Raimi thing.
Jumps over the fence and then meets up right on his like hand, pouring the lotion into his hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, he like rubs it on her and tells her he has a party van.
Well, no, he's like, let's go into my like office or something.
My bachelor pad.
Yeah. And they go into his van and fuck. But she's fantasizing on, obviously.
Yeah, they go into his van and you literally see immediately they close the door and the van starts shaking.
I guess we do have to set up the other 2 deaths because it was like very quick succession and these people dying.
Well, let's just get the lawnmower man.
So yeah, he says like, you missed stuff in my lawn, and I need you to come back, and I need you to. And his like eyes are going all fucking crazy.
And he's laughing the whole time, like he has a shit-eating grin.
Like yeah, I need you to come back and fix my lawn.
The guy you had on Saturday, yeah, send him back.
And then the lawnmower guy comes over and he's like, well, like what, like bro, like what did I like?
You said I missed something,
like,
man. What did I miss?
Like what did I like
and he
miss,
has a shovel.
man?
He's like, you missed this.
And then hits him over the head with the shovel. And the dude wakes up like buried up to his chest in like the dirt.
In the dirt, yeah. And
his fingers are out.
And Asbestos Felt is sitting on the lawnmower.
And he's like, I planted you, or something. Planted you, or I sprouted, I don't know. He says some crazy shit about planting
unhinged
something.
nonsense.
And he starts up the lawnmower and starts mowing the guy's fingies.
He mows his fingies off and they fly across the lawn.
And then he mows the side of his head and then pushes his body down
the ground.
I also love the screwdriver guy.
Oh my god.
He's one of my favorite characters in the end
This was
scene.
the most insane.
So, it's a delivery man. So he's
delivering new curtains.
She gets new curtains, but she is writing about a fantasy where he delivers the curtains. So this is like, it's like this overweight, schlubby guy
with a cowboy hat.
And he comes in and
he's like, she's taking a shower.
Yeah,
so she comes in,
a towel.
And she's like, she answers the door and she's like, sorry, I was taking a shower if you don't mind. And he's like, I definitely
I don't mind. Oh, yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, oh, yeah. And then he like starts talking about like the weather, and then he'll pick up magazines and be like, ooh-wee, oh yeah, oh my, yeah, oh yeah, ooh-wee, yeah, yeah. And then she like walks over and she's like, actually, can you help me like get a delivery for something else, and takes off her towel.
She's like, do you ever get lonely sometimes, or like?
And then he's like, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, and then,
let's go,
and then
let's go.
They go up to the,
they go to the shower.
She gets in, and then with his hat on, he still has his fucking cowboy hat on. He gets in the shower and just starts like licking her shoulder while the water like awkwardly pours all over the goddamn cowboy hat. So the setup is with his death.
He says like,
he's like, I
know you guys deliver.
Asbestos is like, I know you guys deliver, but do you like take packages, and do you take them to?
He's like, I'm just working. I'm too busy.
I'm working. Do you take them? Did you take them? I'm too busy. And
perfect. And then he's like, he's on a ladder.
And the delivery guy comes over. And he's like, did you not hear the doorbell? Like, blah bitty blah. And he's like, nope. And then
he tells him something like,
oh, that's a cool hat.
That's a cool hat, partner. Like, where'd you get it, partner?
And the guy takes off his hat and like starts looking at it while explaining where he got it. And while he's doing that, he takes asbestos in his like thumb and pointer finger, just daintily dangles a fucking screwdriver over this guy's head. And drops it, and
it impales him, and the guy dies.
And he starts like dying, and he's like, yeah, you screwed my wife. I'm gonna screwdriver you.
I screwed your head.
Yeah. And then so
he stuffs him into a barrel and lights him on fire.
And he calls his hat gay. He uses the F slurs, but I can't say that. So he
calls his hat gay and calls him a stupid country fuck.
What the fuck?
Like I said, I think Tim Ritter knows. Will.
Oh my god!
I think Tim Ritter knows.
I think he did. So he gets barbecued with the screwdriver still sticking out of his head,
and he throws the hat in there for good measure.
Yeah. And then
let's talk about the
old lady, or
no, the
first of the three.
Okay, before that, let's talk about our little beach rampage.
Oh yeah, so this is when he's like about to snap. He hasn't killed anyone at this point, but he's going crazy.
He has her diary.
He has to pay for these bills.
The bills is later.
I know.
Holy shit.
I know, but that's why he's like getting more and more stressed out, because he has to start a second job. He refuses to let her work for some reason, even though she
he says that he told it to his former best friend, now dead, Ben, that he just doesn't trust, the men.
Yeah.
He had his previous wife cheated on him and left him.
Tim Ritter was projecting here.
He was hurt, okay?
He was projecting a lot.
So he does not want her to get another job.
And
but
so
he has her diary, and he goes to the beach, and he's like walking around.
And he's like kicking fences, and
he looks like the kind of guy you'd see like outside of a 7-Eleven at like 3 a.m, just screaming at the air. He's just punching the walls.
He just walks up to some random guy and like literally.
Well, no, some guy he's like all angry, and some guy just stands there like what's up?
And he just punches him off a deck.
And the guy just falls over.
And then he goes out to the beach. All these people are around. And he just picks a fight with some guy floating in the ocean.
And tries to drown him.
Well, everyone watches.
And then he tries to drown him. And the guy's leaves. And again, just angrily saunters back to the fucking house, I guess.
Roid rages back to the house. And then the guy in the water like comes up and he's like, what?
"Oh Jesus!"
He has that expression like
what the fuck just happened?
What the fuck just happened?
But you
got attacked by a Tim Ritter character. That's what happened.
Yes, you are in a Tim Ritter movie.
You're in a Tim Ritter movie.
Absolute madness happens.
Welcome to your new reality.
So
something
happened with the electricity.
So there's like a plug next to the bed that was like short circuiting,
and so of course she has to call electrician.
Well, she calls an electrician.
But they set it up too because she says like, "Oh, this is having a problem."
Well, so this is where it like kind of like sets it up where it could be really happening, but it shows like shortly after that she is writing them actually. So this is the initial one that sets up that she's writing the fantasies, not the friend. He just snapped with the friend.
Well, he did read her thing about the friend, but you don't see her writing it.
Right. Oh well, yeah, that's right because we don't know their fantasies yet. Because with the friend, he just thinks it's real.
He just sees it because he sits down and like reads every single magazine on his desk and then finds under all of them, he finds her diary.
So the electrician comes over and she's laying on the bed and she's like, come here. Like here.
He's like, do you mind if, because the plug is next to the bed.
Do you mind if I lay on the bed to get to the plug? And she's like, not at all.
And then he's just there, and he's just
she starts like hitting on him.
He's like, he's like, your husband not home? He's like, yeah, he's never home. I get lonely. And he's like, well, if I had a wife like you, I'd never let her get lonely. Wink, wink.
And then they just start getting into it. He like takes off his shirt all quickly.
He fucking. Like he's like it's like he looks like a fucking like high schooler like first time he's just like
oh my god okay oh, I'm ready
like he literally bumps his hands into like the ceiling fan which
foreshadowing and gets on top of her and they like slide into bed.
Oh, that's what he's fixing, the ceiling fan
under the covers. Yeah, they get under the covers and
romp around. And
so he tells them that the fan's not working, but
he reads it in the diary.
Well, in the meantime, what he does is he gets planks of he gets the fan blades
and machetes
and attaches machetes to them and makes sure gives it a proper test while he's like maniacally laughing.
He gives it a test and just stares there like a child staring at like toys above
like
his
one
head.
Of those like mobiles that like spins the toys.
He looks like that, like just like standing there like wide-eyed and happy.
And he like the electrician comes over and just like in the context of this movie, no one is normal. This is what I'm saying. Because this electrician walks into the room, looks up at the fucking...
And he's like, it's working.
He's like, those are weird-looking fan blades.
And he's like, just wait a minute. And he's
It'll stop.
I've never seen fan blades like that.
And then the guy, our main guy, Asbestos, comes up behind the electrician and is like,
you need a haircut.
You need a haircut. And then it lifts him into the fucking machete and like takes off the top of his head.
Takes off the top of his head and the whole room goes like completely red.
Hard cut to washing hands and... and
he takes the guy's truck and parks it like a fucking dick bag in a parking lot and runs away. Then, oh my god, there's
also the Karate Master
so that's
TV repairman.
The funniest bit.
You want to save that one?
Well, no, I think we should get into it. But basically, so with the lawnmower guy, there's basically a day when she has 3 men visit.
I do love when he's reading it. He's like, 3 men in one day?
Doesn't she know how busy I'll be because of this?
God damn it!
Because he also has to do 3 men in one day.
Well, because when he reads this, he doesn't really. He gets like mad at her because she's promiscuous, but he gets more mad at the men because again,
well, he justifies it by saying like
he doesn't trust men, and he justifies it by saying like
it's their fault.
She can't control herself.
Well, because he reads it all and he's like, I should just kill her, and then he's like, no,
it's the men's fault.
It's their fault. It's not her fault. It's the men.
When really it's no one's fault. Everyone's innocent except for him. So, which is hilarious. So this is a TV repairman. So she's having a fantasy.
No, because they're sitting on the couch, right?
And their TV doesn't work.
And well, they set it up like she's just like, hey, there's there's more bills. We have no money. Everything's fucked.
And she's like, I can take a job. And he's like, no,
absolutely not. We'll be fine.
I'll take another job. We'll be fine.
Well, let's see what's on TV. She goes over, turns it on, doesn't work. She's like, well, TV doesn't work. I guess that's another thing I have to call about. And he's like, it's fine. We don't need a TV. It's fine. And so, yeah, she calls a TV repairman.
So the fantasy is he comes in with his party shirt.
It literally says party shirt.
And he's looking into her TV, and he
fixes it or something.
Yeah.
And he also mentions like...
Well, because he has to take it with him to
Can we mention the the way the scene starts. It's a tracking shot.
Oh, yeah, from between her legs.
It starts like close to the guy, and then they roll the fucking, the little hand cart.
They do that multiple times.
It's amazing. It's incredible. They roll it out, and it's under her legs. And he keeps saying, and she's like, "Oh, you're really good at this." And he's like, "Yeah, but it's not my real passion. I have a karate school."
Well, and she's like, "Oh, you're so tough."
Well, because he lifts up the TV, and she's like, "Oh, you're really strong."
And
he's
then
like,
he mentions karate, and that's why he's so strong.
He says one of my favorite lines in any movie ever, where he's like, "Well, karate keeps me in top physical form," something like that. And I don't know why, but it just made me think of the fucking Rex Kwon Do scene from Napoleon Dynamite, because it just so much of this feels like that. It's writing that line.
Well, because in the fantasy, that's when she gets all hot and bothered and takes him on the couch, basically. And, he takes off his party shirt and he has one of the hairiest backs I've ever seen. And
everyone in this movie looks like they just wandered in off the street. It's great.
I mean, that's fine. Honestly,
it adds to the fucking...
If Tim Ritter came up to me and was like, "Hey, Will, do you want to be in one of my movies?" I'd be like, "Absolutely, yes."
I was gonna say, would you first ask him, is the movie about a man being cheated on?
Be like, "You're Tim Ritter, right? So, tell me who hurt you." Who hurt you?
Where is she?
Do we need to talk? Because all your movies are about this.
Yeah. Is she still alive?
We haven't. I'm sure. I don't know if we have more Tim Ritter movies, but
probably.
I guarantee they're all going to be about this.
He's the Don Doler of adultery.
And yeah, exactly. One trick pony, but it's fine because he's better. He makes masterpieces. And so
they have sex, and then
he, Asbestos calls the TV repairman. And this is one of the wildest murders in the entire movie, because it goes on for a while.
Well, he goes there and says, and he just immediately goes into it.
He's like, "Oh, so you know karate. Why don't you give me a demonstration?"
And he's like, "Okay, yeah, sure, okay."
He's like, "Try and hit me," and so he blocks it, and then doesn't kick him, but shows that he can.
I could take your head off right there with a kick.
He's like, "See that, pretty boy?" And I'm like, there is no fucking shot anyone would call Asbestos Felt a pretty boy,
dude. But yeah, he kicks the air.
Asbestos Felt also gets called a hippie in this movie, so
that really turns him fucking cuckoo.
The names are flying for this man.
And the names are flying all over the movie. But he punches him for real.
Yes.
And he's laughing, and the guy's like, "All right, I'll show you a demonstration."
And he kicks him in the fucking head.
He kicks him in the head, he knocks him down. And he's
I
like,
don't
listen, you crazy pretty boy. You chill, you relax. And he starts walking away, and Asbestos gets up, gets a bottle, and
smashes it on his head.
The guy is there. He's in the attic, I think.
He's hanging by his hands, and he has something in his mouth, so he's screaming. Mm-hmm. And Asbestos takes a machete and cuts him open.
No, he takes a chainsaw.
Oh, that's right. And starts flailing it around like a fucking madman, just swinging it all over the place, and then cuts his stomach open.
And then takes his guts.
And attaches it to a battery and makes the body dance. Oh my god. And then, of course, as the body's dancing and going all wild, hard cut to washing hands, hard rock music, and him putting the body away and driving the fucking van into the forest and leaving it just
and
somewhere.
Taking a piss.
Yeah, and taking a piss, and then getting pissed off at something and throwing it.
Yes. Also, we forgot to mention, when he killed the lawnmower guy, he parks his van down the street.
Just slightly to the next house.
Yes.
Not even remotely far away.
Yes, he got lazy.
All this, so we should also, the next kill is the old woman, because the old woman comes over for everything and is the annoying character. Yes. She comes over when her
she comes over after he barbecues the cowboy.
When she hates her husband. Because she's always complaining about him.
Because, in the very beginning of the movie, literally first scene of the movie is her complaining to...
That he took too many laxatives, thinking they were...
No, she's saying he's feeling sick or something, and he's just Asbestos is just yeah, I gotta go, bye.
Well, then she comes over again and mentions that he ate a bunch of laxative, and she needs something for relief.
She needs something to help with his pain.
I guess.
And he's like, yeah, okay. And so he leaves, and she steals his magazine.
A Fangoria magazine, for some reason.
A bitch.
And then she also watches the lawnmower man get annihilated.
She watches him kill somebody else, too, I think.
She also watches him stuff the body into the barrel.
Oh, yeah. So she sees him kill the lawnmower man.
Well, and then she walks up and is like, you can't burn clothes in...
This is not that. The HOA laws.
The HOA is going to get to you, and is acting like she didn't just watch
like,
two people get murdered.
Like, listen, are you into any devil worship? And the whole time...
Hippie.
It zoomed in on our actor's face, and he's just like doing like...
It almost looks like he's like tweaking.
One eye wide open, other eye like squinting.
And she's like, listen, I know what you're doing. I know. But I won't tell anyone if you murder my husband.
And he just like, what? And she's like, yeah. I'm tired. I can't deal with him anymore.
So he takes his boot hammer.
So he took out the boot hammer earlier, and he was clearly about to kill her, and then she starts going on about how he wants to kill her husband.
I don't know why he listens to this, because he kills her anyway.
And then mid her ranting about how her husband needs to die, he just takes the hammer, sticks it into her chin.
And then tears out her jaw.
A bunch of blood sprays out. And then he starts bashing her face into a fucking pulp.
And then lays next to it and just plays with her like brains.
I have never laughed harder in my life over the sight of someone being graphically...
I have never laughed harder in my entire life to him literally... Okay, so let me set this up for you. Okay, so he puts the hammer in, tears out her jaw, smashes her face in, is laying there maniacally playing with her brains, and it's all gory and horrific. And fucking hard cut to him washing his hands and...
cleaning his clothes.
Cleaning his clothes. He doesn't move anything because she was walking. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have to move a car. But like that, but
he does take he puts her body in the trash bag and he stuffs it under his bed.
But what I'm trying to say is I don't think I've laughed harder from like going from this crazy like special effects gory like just insanely violent scene to hard cut of music and him just cleaning it all up.
The thing is, I was laughing as soon as he started smashing her face in with the hammer, just because it was so sudden, and like the sound effects, it just broke me.
This movie's incredible, by the way. If you haven't seen it, please go watch Killing Spree. Because we're gonna get into like the last bit of the movie because it's insane. But if you haven't seen it, I think it's better if you go in blind.
Yes,
like we did, because I guarantee the last like 20 minutes of this film will break your fucking brain.
If the previous hour didn't.
If it hasn't, because right up till now, it's just this like fucking insanely zany slasher film about a jealous husband.
Yes.
Because it's like it's not normal by any stretch of the imagination.
Not at all.
But he's just killing people that he thought cheated on his wife, like his wife cheated on him with. And so it's just a slasher film up until this point.
Before we get into all that,
But what I'm saying is go watch it before we get into that.
Before the 3 murders in a row of the cowboy, the lawnmower man, and the fucking TV man. So before he murders all of them, he's like planning it, right? And his wife was like, she comes home or something, and he's salty. And she's like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, we have to get into one of your favorite lines.
I gotta do this. I've been thinking about it real hard. I've got to do something about these bills.
Well, I love how it's building up like he's going to murder her.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I can't take it anymore. You need to die when you keep sleeping around with these men. But no, he's like, I've got to do something about these bills.
And he's like, I'm going to get another job at night so you won't see me much. And I need you to go stay with your bitch mom.
I've got to do something about these bills.
This was another scene that broke us.
I think everyone's been to that point where they're just looking at all their bills and they're like, I've got to do something about these bills. God
Well, I
damn
love that
it.
it's just setting up the excuse that he's going to spend all day murdering people, so he needs her out of the fucking
Go
house.
stay with your bitch mom.
So go stay with your bitch mom.
Her response is so casual.
She's like, what are you talking about?
She's like, what do you mean? I'll get another job. Like,
no,
She's like, no.
I got a job.
Yeah, I got a job. Jesus Christ.
Like, this scene just broke me because, like, his absolute lunacy, us knowing what's going on,
Well, how casually
and
she's
her just being like,
responding
what are
to
you
it.
talking about?
She's like, what are you talking about? He's like going on this like lunatic rant.
And your
about-
bitch mom.
Oh my God.
And then, of course, added on to the lunacy, it cuts to her fucking walking into a taxi cab that says Ritter Cab Company.
Driven by Tim Ritter himself.
And she drives away, and he concocts his 3-man murder spree.
Yes. But now we get into the craziest part of the movie, which is the final act.
So, oh my God, he is just at home.
Let's set this up real quick though. The woman does finally go to a publishing house. It's like romping romantic press or something.
It's a magazine.
And she
I think it's the magazine she was reading earlier.
She submits all her. It's one of the two one of the like because they have either that romance magazine or Fangoria. That's it. And so she goes there and she sells her stories. And this guy called Mr. Jerkins,
yes,
is a giant jerk.
Is a jerk in it.
And he's gonna jerk it. He's trying to. And so he starts hitting on her and is like, oh, you enact all these fantasies. You're telling me you haven't done any of this? And she's like, no.
I love my husband.
She's like, I love my husband, but I think about it, and that's how I write.
Like, tell you what, I get off in 15 minutes. Like, we'll have another fantasy.
Probably gets off in 30 seconds, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking asshole.
And then
the
big boss walks in.
Well, because he's getting her check, and she's like, he's harassing me. He's doing this, and the boss is like, this isn't the first time you've done this, Jerkins.
You keep doing this shit.
You're fired.
And he just leaves.
And then gives her a check for $1,500. And
it's like,
it's a voiceover. And she's like, oh, I can't wait to tell Tim about this. I can't wait he's going to be so happy that we can take care of the bill. Finally. As he's like murdered half the neighborhood.
And he's at home drinking and he falls over, knocks over. He goes like, you ever play Octodad?
Yeah.
He goes Octodad and knocks over all the furniture.
I love it because he also has a machete and a fucking hacksaw.
Yes. The hacksaw is just conveniently sitting on the couch.
And he's crawling around with a machete. He looks up at this naked portrait of a woman and it starts bleeding from her nipples.
And her eyes.
And her private parts.
Yes. Art. And here's a knock on the door.
And it's like a pounding, and he like slowly, awkwardly, like fisheye lens crawls to the door, and he opens it, and his friend
with the head the eyes are moving on it.
Yes, his dead friend.
And his dead friend is complaining. Not only is he complaining that he got reanimated, but he's also complaining that his 18-year-old girlfriend, that only her head was reanimated. Yes. This is real things that are happening in the movie.
He wants to have sex with her still.
And he can't because only her head got reanimated, you fuck.
Now, where is her body? I don't fucking know.
Doesn't matter.
They never explain that. But it doesn't matter. Because, the eyes, and then he... the friend... I'm not kidding.
Let me show you my Boris Karloff.
Okay, this is... No. This is why you need to watch... Before we go any further, if you have not seen Killing Spree by Tim Ritter, go find it Killing Spree, because... You do not want this spoiled.
Yes.
Because the friend takes the fucking girlfriend's head and throws it at Asbestos' crotch.
And it bites his dick.
And it makes a clip sound. And he he wrestles with it and then throws it in the trash.
He Kobe Bryant's it into the fucking trash
can. And then, the friend is like, let me show you my Boris Karloff walk.
And then Asbestos takes his arm, rips it off,
and starts beating him.
And they start wrestling.
Oh, and then the friend takes his own arm and starts beating Asbestos with it.
And then the
lawnmower kid comes to life.
He comes to life.
And crawls out of his grave and tries to start the lawnmower.
The
guy with his intestines all out, the TV repairman.
He's reanimated, and he has a white thing with him, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And he throws it, and
it says like toxic
waste dump site.
Why would someone's backyard be a toxic waste dump site?
Because it's Florida, and they built over a toxic waste dump.
Yeah, so
that's literally what they're saying.
This horror movie is not built over like an ancient burial ground.
It's a toxic waste dump.
It's a toxic waste dump, and so it's reanimating all the corpses. I'm not making this up. This actually happens. And
we get I don't know why this scene.
We also get the smashed face lady.
That's later.
Oh, that's sorry.
But a bit that broke us for reasons beyond human comprehension is the TV man who wakes up. There's a part where he spends like 1 minute digging his fucking intestines out of the ground.
And I love it because continuity.
Yes.
He electrocuted him, right? So it fried his brain, so he's all fucked up because he's like he keeps like tripping over everything. He'll be like he can't fucking like walk right. He's a fucking like just his brain is literally fried.
It's goop.
And so he's like the stupidest villain. Continuity. They did it.
Yeah, I know.
Most of the movies we watch on here wouldn't do that.
Like, it's bold.
And so
but there's also a weird part where he walks around and the fucking guy's trying to start the lawnmower and he like vomits up like gasoline or toxic goop.
Yeah.
And it starts up the lawnmower.
I don't know, dude. Because also Asbestos gets cornered into his room by all these... Well, by his friend.
And the fucking our barbecue man, the cowboy.
Oh yeah,
he wakes up.
He gets out of the barrel, and of course he picks up his cowboy hat,
which is half burned,
and puts it on perfectly over the screwdriver.
Which is still in his head. Yes.
And so they start walking in, and they're like the three of them are attacking Asbestos, and he gets cornered into his room, and then the fucking old lady gets up. And starts trying to
beating her with a pillow.
And then he beats her with a pillow and a fucking, like, broom.
And he opens up the bag.
And it's like this smashed face and an eye.
And it's not, like, he smashed her face, so she's just like...
All this is happening. Tim Ritter returns the wife to the house. And
she comes back.
She stares at the house for, like, 2 minutes straight because she gets a creepy vibe.
And then she gets attacked by the burned man. He leads her into the house.
Well, and they're all... Okay, so basically Asbestos gets the jump on them and takes her up into the attic.
Yes.
And they're cornered in the attic by the four outside.
And then the electrician
wakes up and like takes off his scalp.
And his brain. And they all start threatening him and saying like... First, they argue over who deserves to kill him more.
Yes, but then they're like, hey, no, I got an idea. So we can all rest in peace because we're all innocent, even though they're all total creeps and fucking skeezy as shit. But they're like, we're all innocent. He needs to die. And the friend's like, wait.
I got an idea. Because he did it for her.
It's her fault.
Yeah.
So we need him to kill her so we can rest in peace.
And he's like,
I can die with that. If you get my pun.
And he's like, he's going crazy. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then he whispers to her like,
I'm not gonna do it. You just when we get down there, we'll find a time to run.
Like, I'll tell you when to run.
They go and sit on the couch, and all the fucking zombies are all around him.
They're all standing there watching.
And he's holding this fucking hacksaw like it's a goddamn slice of watermelon. And he's like he
holds it up to her. Take a bite of this watermelon.
He holds it up to her neck, and then like turns it on him and slices his neck. And then
she closes her eyes, freaks out. They all stand there and they're like, okay, we can rest now.
That's restitution. They're not even pissed that he didn't kill her.
No,
they all go back out
to their fucking
to the one grave now. And
it's a portal to hell.
And they jump in a portal to hell because it's like fire and brimstone. And they just literally jump back into into hell. And then the woman, like, she uncovers her face.
And his Asbestos Felt's body's not there.
And then so she looks for him and then like goes to the front porch, and in a sped up shot they have Asbestos break out of the fucking deck and like wiggle his fingers at the camera, at the screen,
and then the credits roll.
That is incredible. That movie is actually like, it is so fucking entertaining.
It is extremely creative. Extremely creative.
I mean, you don't see this kind of movie a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, because, hot take, I think Troma's a little
I never got into Troma.
I never got into Troma stuff. This is basically like what I wanted from a Troma movie.
Or what I imagine people who like Troma see in it.
Yeah, maybe that's it, where it's like, now I finally understand how Troma movie fans feel.
Yeah.
When they watch a Troma movie, because this is what I want Troma movies to be.
Because there's definitely the thing about Troma.
I mean, it has the gore, it has the awkward acting, it has like the crazy scenes where no one makes any fucking sense at all. All these zany characters that like have these weird character development,
weird
scenes
personalities
that go like nowhere, but
weird
it's
details,
it's just flavoring.
Yeah.
To like help you understand more of this world
and to entertain you.
Yeah, and it's like this weird like murdering like whimsical world.
The big difference for me is that most Troma movies, the humor, it's just a little too stupid for me.
Well,
a little too on the nose.
I think it's a little bit too over the top. Like,
but
in a
with
way.
This. I think the humor's there, but it's a little more.
I think Tim Ritter dialed it
campy?
down a little bit more, where he was like, he didn't go as full, like, just absolute bonkers mode as a Troma movie does, because he kind of like dialed it a little bit more into reality, and I think that helps it make it funnier, actually, especially since the wife is the only normal person in the movie.
Well, especially because the main character is crazy because he's crazy. He's just going crazy. Everyone else is just kind of like a skis, but they're not like going full hee-haw.
Well, and to have all this and then throw in the fact that his backyard is a toxic waste site
to resurrect everyone
reanimates bodies.
And they argue.
And they argue about how the person should die.
And who should get the chance
That
to.
is... very little do I see anything like that.
No, I've never seen anything like this movie.
So it's incredible. I think there's parts where the camera work isn't great, and then there's parts where it's like really good.
It's creative.
And there's like other parts where it'll be like static shots, and then other parts where the camera's just moving like a million miles an hour. The hard cuts are hilarious. The acting is awkward, I think, on purpose.
Well, it's just, it feels... Because no one in this is a professional actor.
Well, especially like Asbestos Felt. I think, again, if it was anyone else, I think it would have been a little too try hard. But I think he locked it in at the perfect like cadence where it just... It
works.
It's just perfect for the role.
It works.
He locked it in. And it's really, really good.
Like all the actors that they got for their each goofball fucking part. I mean, again, awkward, but it works.
The special effects are really good. I love the zombie looks. They're all like creative.
Yeah, I especially like the burned guy.
The burned guy is my favorite, especially since he like dedicates himself to putting on the hat still.
Well, I also, little details, like I love when he puts everyone in like a trash bag. I love when he puts them in the trash bag, you still see the screwdriver poking out.
Yeah, you gotta know.
Because it's like, I feel like any other shit movie wouldn't have bothered. But with this, details, they're in there.
And I say all this because when we're going into Shitty to Pretty, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
If you're new here, we do Shitty to Pretty, and you already said it. It's entertainment value, 1 to 10. Very seldom do we give ones. Those are reserved for very special movies.
Yeah, I mean...
Like almost
no entertainment value.
Borderline unwatchable or very unwatchable. This is 10 out of 10 though. Like, it is so goddamn entertaining. It's fun. If you're a Troma fan, you'll like it. If you're not a Troma fan, you'll like it. If you like ridiculous, stupid, hilarious, gory movies, it's perfect for that.
Yeah, no, this like I don't know. This gave me good vibes.
If you like Dead Alive, if
Yeah.
you like shit like that, you know, House, stuff like that, like if you like those kind of movies, I guarantee you'll like Killing Spree.
Yeah, this gave me really good vibes. I don't know.
It kind of gave me like Dead Alive vibes. in a
Yeah,
way.
it's like an American version of like just like a campy. Don't take it too seriously, but it's not full on stupid comedy vibe.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
was just a good time.
It just dialed it in at the perfect, like, just the perfect recipe to make a fucking great, entertaining movie from 1987.
Like considering the little resources at hand here, I'm pretty impressed.
So thank you, Tim Ritter. Truth or Dare was fucking ridiculous, and I loved that drive-by chainsaw.
That was a fun movie. This is even better.
This goes like so much more off the rails, and I love that. So please go watch Killing Spree. Support Tim Ritter. I don't know what he's doing now,
but you know, good job.
Thank you, Tim Ritter. This is a good one. Killing Spree is great. Please, I hope there's more lover scorned movies. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Please go watch it, and you'll have a good time. I promise.
I think that's it.
Yep. So for They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we'll talk to you all later.
Bye
bye.
Don't forget to pay your bills.
I gotta pay these bills.